Yesterday it was all about big bids. Today it's about wee Diddy bids. Welcome back to Fog Football. Some news regarding Johnny Kenny, the Turgeman, and many others this morning. So let's start off with Johnny Kenny because Celtic have actually rejected a bid for the Irishman, 500,000. And you may be wondering, that's a wee bit low, but I think I've got all the answers to why it's a wee bit low. And it goes past the reasoning of he's pish. Let's look at his stats, right? And it's not really in the stats for me about why he's going for that low, but let's go through them. So he played 19 games in total last year, 8 goals and 2 assists. So this is what we'll break it down. I mean, 10 goal contributions in 19 games is no bad. Well, let's be real, it's no bad. And I don't think it's actually including the Artricity League for whatever reason, so we kind of have to just deal with that. I don't even, is it still called the Artricity League? I'm not too sure, but he played a total of 8 Scottish Premiership matches, got 1 goal, 1 assist. Don't recall where the assist was, but I remember the goal was against Aberdeen in the 5-1 game at Pataudry into the Scottish Cup. 2 games, no goals. Champions League qualifiers, of course, that wasn't for Celtic, that was for Shamrock Rovers, but he got 2 goals in 3 games. And then in the Conference League, he played 6 times, 5 goals, 1 assist. So, right, that's that's fantastic, man. You can't really dispute that. So, out of 9 games, right, that he played in Europe for Shamrock Rovers, he got 7 goals and 1 assist. And people can laugh, right, and say, "Oh, the Conference League, right, and oh, the league path in the first couple of rounds of the Champions League's pish, in the qualifying rounds." But you know what? He's playing for Shamrock Rovers, folks. It's not like he was. It's not like he was playing for a better side in the Conference League, and also the Conference League's still Europe. I know it is lesser than the Europa League, right, and there is no two ways about that. It does get treated as a bit of a joke, but the fact that this guy's rocking up with 7 goals and 1 assist in 9 European games is a good record for me. I think that's worth a team taking a punt on him, and I'm actually surprised that Celtic. I mean, I'm not saying they can't go and sign other people, but obviously they're linked with that Fulham striker for the B team, Callum Osman. But I think you'd be as well giving Johnny Kenny more of a chance because those numbers are good. I mean, if I was Aberdeen, I'd be like, Johnny Kenny, banging in the goals in the Conference League. What are we realistically going to be in? The Conference League? Feels like a bit of a no brainer. But you may be wondering, right, you said you were going to offer some wee bit of insight into why they've only bid at 500,000. Well, I'll tell you why they've only bid at 500,000. Because his contract runs out in less than a year. He's got 11 months left on his deal. Now, this is actually his highest his market value has ever been, €400,000. So, here, the man from Sligo, he's been Bolton have done him a wee turn here because I've actually bid it more than his value. But again, see transfer market, folks. Don't read in too much to the values. Now, in terms of all the transfer fees, they get that all correct, but I don't think they actually factor in like length of contracts and things like that. But Celtic have rejected it, 500,000. Do I blame them? You know what? They could probably get more from him, but it's the fact he's got a year left on his deal. What are they going to do? Personally, guy's 22. He'll be 20. Well, he's just turned 22 actually, so he turned 22 on the 6th of June. Like I said, I'm not pretending the Conference League is the greatest competition of all time, but I think that's a good return. What he's done there, 8 goal contributions in 9 European games. That's pretty good. To me, that's a good return, and you can't really complain with that. All he needs, folks, is to be given a proper chance and a run of games up front. And what he needs from that is probably pre-season and a run of games. So we'll see how that goes. But Bolton, they wanted him. They didn't quite get him. Moving on to De Torgeman. Apparently, he's told Maccabi Tel Aviv that he wants a move to Rangers amid rising interest in the Israeli striker. Well, Rangers pretty much linked with selling every striker apart from the one guy that I would like sold, and that's Danilo. Tell you what, man, if you're selling Dessers and Igamani for like a combined total of 25 million, you need to be spending big on the replacements up front, and De Torgeman would be a good. I mean, if you brought in the Torgeman and Luke De Jong, or Luke De Jong and Friggin, or the Torgeman and Friggin, right? Some sort of two good strikers. That's all you can really ask for if you sold Igamani and Dessers. I tell you what, I think there's exciting times ahead. I feel like for so long there, for a couple of weeks, there was hee-haw really happening in the transfer market for Rangers, but I think there's a lot of pieces getting moved around now. Sadly, it looks like it's going to require the likes of Igamani leaving, but you know what? Sometimes it's an offer you can't refuse, and I think 20 million approaching that ballpark is going to be an offer they can't refuse for Igamani. So that will be interesting. I'm all in on the Torgeman. I've seen compilations on YouTube. I've looked at his stats. Another guy that can bang in goals in Europe, and that's what we need. A guy that can bang in goals in Europe. So, and he's young. He's Israeli international, banging goals in the World Cup qualifiers. Can do it in Europe. Does it in his league. That's a no-brainer to me, guys. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Till next time. Peace.